Collective punishment is a punitive measure that involves punishing a group of individuals, often innocent or minimally involved members, for the actions of a few or one member within the group. This practice is widely regarded as unjust and unethical, as it punishes individuals who may have had no control over or knowledge of the wrongdoing in question. Collective punishment is typically seen as a violation of principles of fairness, justice, and individual accountability. The concept of collective punishment has been applied in various contexts throughout history, including warfare, criminal justice, and social or political movements. It is important to note that collective punishment can take different forms, and its severity can vary significantly, depending on the specific circumstances and the individuals involved. In a military context, collective punishment might involve reprisals against an entire community or group of people in response to the actions of a few. For example, during armed conflicts, an occupying force may impose curfews, blockades, or other restrictions on an entire region in response to an attack or act of resistance by a small faction within that region. These measures can result in the suffering of innocent civilians who had no involvement in the hostilities. In criminal justice, collective punishment can occur when family members, friends, or associates of a person convicted of a crime are subjected to punitive actions or discrimination based on their association with the offender. This might include denying employment opportunities, housing, or social services to individuals connected to a criminal, regardless of their own actions or character. Collective punishment has also been employed in various social and political movements. In some cases, governments or authorities have targeted entire communities or groups based on their perceived association with a particular ideology or political movement. This practice can lead to the persecution and discrimination of individuals who may not share the beliefs or actions of those singled out by the authorities. Collective punishment is widely criticized for several reasons. Firstly, it violates the principle of individual responsibility, as it punishes people based on their association, rather than their own actions or culpability. Secondly, it often leads to the suffering of innocent individuals who bear no responsibility for the wrongdoing in question. Lastly, it can perpetuate cycles of violence and resentment, as those subjected to collective punishment may develop negative attitudes toward the punishing authority, potentially fueling further conflict. International humanitarian law, as outlined in the Geneva Conventions, explicitly prohibits collective punishment during armed conflicts, emphasizing the importance of protecting civilians from harm. Many countries and legal systems also recognize the injustice of collective punishment and strive to ensure that individuals are held accountable for their own actions rather than being subjected to collective reprisals. In conclusion, collective punishment is a punitive practice that punishes a group of individuals for the actions of a few or one member within the group. It is widely considered unjust and unethical, as it violates principles of fairness and individual accountability. Whether applied in a military, criminal justice, or social context, collective punishment can have far-reaching consequences, often resulting in the suffering of innocent individuals and perpetuating cycles of conflict and resentment. As such, it is generally condemned by international humanitarian law and human rights principles.